Carl, thank you. What a good one. What a good one. Caden Dinn with a hit he'll never forget. This reminder, ESPN's continuing coverage of the Little League World Series presented by Kellogg's Frosted Flakes. It's an elimination game on the international side next. Australia 1-1 against Curacao, also 1-1. Curacao ready to keep dancing. This group is having fun, hoping to take another step towards the international title game, and perhaps no one here is having more fun than the kids from Australia. Always smiling, always having a good time. They're looking for another big win. The loser of this one will see their Little League World Series dreams fade away. A couple of quick reminders for you. 8 teams from the United States. They're playing one bracket. In the other bracket, 8 teams from across the globe. All players between 10 and 13 years of age. The games are 6 innings in length. The field slightly smaller, 2/3 the size of the big boys. And it's Little League baseball, so everyone plays here. Just a gorgeous evening here in South Williamsport. Hello again from the anchor desk at the Little League World Series. I'm Jay Crawford. Really a portrait of Americana today. Gorgeous weather, a nice crowd expected for both of the remaining elimination games. It's time for the evening session there. Let's get you caught up to date with some images of the first 2 elimination games from today. And on the international side, Mexico flexing its pitching strength, using 4 arms to send Canada home with the 7-1 victory. And then in the game just concluded, how about the big bat of Caden Dinn? Didn't start, came off the bench, hit a huge home run to tie it at 1, and then it was his walk-off single in the bottom of the 6th that keeps Iowa's hopes alive here from South Williamsport. So now it is a 1/4 of the field that's been eliminated. Actually, a little more than that. 6 teams are out of contention now. 5 still remaining on each the U.S. and the international side. We're giving you 2 more elimination games here in the evening session. On the U.S. side, Tennessee and California hope to take another step towards the U.S. championship game. That one comes your way at 7:30 Eastern Time. But next, it's the international side, Australia and Curacao. And for the call, let's send it over to Volunteer Stadium, Dave Fleming and John Kruk. Gentlemen.
All right, Jay, thanks very much. And you said it. What a beautiful scene. And the crowd will definitely fill in now that the game up at Lombardy is over. Australia and Curacao ready to get it going here in the international bracket. Hi, everybody. Dave Fleming alongside John Kruk. Great game up at Lombardy.
Wow.
And we expect another really good one here. Part of the reason why 2 evenly matched teams and Australia's managed the pitch count, and they've got their big boy on the mound for a 3rd straight game.
Yeah, Australia 3 games, 3 starts for Clayton Campbell. 7 innings pitched. He's only given up 1 earned run, and he hasn't walked anyone. But this team is a little bit more than just Clayton Campbell. Yesterday's game against Panama, yes, they eventually did lose that game, but in the 2nd inning, the no give up team from Australia, big 2-run homer by Brent Iredale to tie this game up in the 6th. This team is having fun, like Jay said, but they're also competing, which is very good to see.
Yeah, I think it's clearly the best team that Australia has ever sent here to Williamsport for the Little League World Series. Power on the mound for Australia in Campbell. Power in the Curacao lineup. Donovan Antonia, man, he's fun to watch swing the bat.
He really is. A very vicious uppercut swing, and he's probably the most physically imposing kid we've seen here at this Little League World Series. And against Japan, he's only had 1 hit in this World Series, but that was it to tie the game up against Japan. He hit it over the light pole in left center field. When he connects, good chance it's going to be a souvenir.
I've always heard that phrase, light tower power. We found out what it means. Australia, Curacao on the international side, an elimination game when we come back.
Little League World Series is presented by Kellogg's Frosted Flakes cereal. They're great, and in part by the Odyssey from Honda, official vehicle of Little League. And Verizon. Join a better network because better matters.
The Great Wall of Fandom. We're fans up here in the booth, and we expect a very good game. Elimination game on the international side. Australia and Curacao. Hills Little League in Sydney, Australia, which truly is one of the world's great cities. Almost 5 million in that city population, home of the Opera House, Bondi Beach, so many great sights and scenes. And before they hit at the top of the first, let's meet the kids from Australia, brought to you by Kellogg's Frosted Flakes.
Hi, my name is Clayton Campbell. My favorite baseball player is Mike Trout.
Hi, my name is Matthew Clements. My favorite player is Yadiel Molina.
My name is Stephen Courtney. My favorite baseball player is Adrian Beltre.
Hi, my name's William Edwards, and my favorite baseball player is Mike Trout.
Hi, my name is Riley Gonzalez, and my favorite player is Jose Altuve.
Hi, my name is Brent Idell, and my favorite baseball player is Mike Trout.
Hi, my name's Thomas Jackson, and my favorite player is Jose Altuve.
My name is Adrian Mortier, and my favorite player is David Ortiz.
Hi, my name is Rowan North, and my favorite player is Chris Bryant.
My name is Ethan Treble, and my favorite player is Mookie Betts.
Hi, my name is Mitchell Trudon, and my favorite baseball player is Mike Trout.
Hi, my name is Will Unit, and my favorite baseball player is David Ortiz.
Hi, my name is Harrison Wilden, and my favorite baseball player is Manny Machado.
Well, both these teams, one win, one loss so far in Williamsport. A win against Italy. First time Australia had ever won their opening round game in their Little League World Series history, and that tough, tight walk-off loss 3-2 against a very good Panama team. So this is an elimination game for the kids from Sydney, and they will face Doncello Valentina, the right-hander, pitches for Curacao.
Yeah, and you know, this is one of those situations where, you know, because the Australian team has struggled to score runs, as has the team from Curacao, you throw strikes. If you throw strikes, you don't put kids on base, let your defense work. Yeah, there's a pretty good chance you're going to keep this game close, and he has to throw strikes, though.
And they do have a good defensive team. Doncello Valentina, they call him Jerry. That's his nickname.
Makes sense.
And he is ready to go. And you see a great look inside Volunteer Stadium, our venue here, as we get the two night games going. Australia, Curacao, the winning team will advance to play Mexico. That game tomorrow, 1 Eastern on ESPN. The loser is eliminated from this Little League World Series. And we will have a big crowd here momentarily. Lots of the folks were up at Lombardy to watch the thrilling end of that previous game with the Iowa team walking off a win against Rhode Island. And now we think we're going to have a real good one here. Harrison Wielden hitting leadoff, starting at shortstop for Australia, takes ball one. He's one of the younger players here. There are only 10, 11-year-olds in this entire Little League World Series. Harrison is one of their best players. Up the middle, and Sayinche had some weird action on it, and the shortstop, who's made one good play after another, couldn't quite pick it clean.
Yeah, that's a tough one, because that's a quick, you know, get it in your glove, get it out, and throw against Harrison Wielden. But Sayinche right here, you see that ball, you said it's spinning. You see how that ball hit and looked like it kicked back towards Sayinche and just couldn't come up with it.
He's the kid who in their opening round game started pitching left-handed and they didn't like the way that was going, turned around and pitched right-handed and pitched beautifully. Here's ball one to Will Edwards, the center fielder, batting second. So right away a base runner for Australia. Will did a great job on the mound for Australia in their last game against a good hitting Panama team. I mean, Panama, Crucky, you and I just watched Mexico feature 4 hard-throwing, really impressive pitchers on the mound against Canada, and Panama scored 10 runs against Mexico.
Doesn't make sense, does it? I mean, you know, this, but that's, I think that's what we're seeing here this year more than any year, is the international bracket being, you know, so competitive.
Very balanced, very competitive. There's a strike. Donovan Antonio, who we spotlighted in our open at the plate. He's got power at the plate. He's got a very strong right arm.
Unbelievably strong arm, and loves to show it off, and I don't blame him.
He's the captain back there too. Very involved in the game. A little check swing foul to make the count full 3-2. I like his actions. I like his demeanor. He's cool. He's calm. He's usually very positive with his teammates.
Yeah, and he's not afraid to call timeout and go out and talk to his pitcher. You know, most kids in Little League, they wait for the coach to come out before they go out, but not him. Uh-oh.
Oh, how about the hesitation? And it worked. Strike 3. Man. Doncello Valentina trying to beat Johnny Cueto on the mound.
I'm glad I was watching it on the field instead of the monitor, because I thought the TV froze up on it, but that was a long one. Okay, now.
Wow. That's hard to do.
Hard to do, but how do you think the hitter feels?
Strike 2, Clayton Campbell. Now here's the big kid who we'll see on the mound. He also swings the bat very well. Clayton Campbell.
Big guy.
Literal nickname.
And only 12 years old.
High and tight for ball 1. That throw a little sloppy, and I don't know. Every once in a while, sometimes you got the shadow line, which can affect the hitter. Sometimes the shadow can affect the pitcher getting the throw back.
Well, he'd have had to have been Ozzie Smith to catch that one. That
just
ball,
outside.
That ball bounced on before it got to the dirt.
So it's 2-1 to Clayton Campbell. He's 3 for 5 so far in Williamsport. And we'll see him on the mound for Australia. Just underway. Way outside to the backstop. There was nothing that Donovan Antonio could do about that. That'll be a wild pitch, and Harrison Wheeldon is into scoring position, that's huge with the big hitter at the plate.
Yeah, that's really huge, and especially because, like we said, both teams haven't gotten off offensively yet in any of their games so far. And you get a wild pitch to advance a guy to second. Now you got your big guys up in Clayton Campbell and Brent Iredale. You got to feel pretty good if you're Australia.
Gets the call there. Clayton thought that was ball 4. Our home plate umpire is Jeb Stewart.
To think of, normally the rule is if you're going to throw it 3-1, they'll probably throw it 3-2.
So let's see. 3-2 on the way. He did, and he struck him out. Now the ball goes to the backstop. Clayton Campbell can take off, and he made it. Beat the throw. Now nobody at second. Sayinche realizes that. He sprints out there. Campbell hesitated and still was able to make it to first base on the strikeout, but the wild pitch.
Yeah, another breaking ball that Campbell went after, and yeah, a lot of hesitation, but you see the throw from Donovan Antonio. It pulls Alan Amit Hollander off the base. The runner on second, of course, Harrison Wheeldon. He advances to third. Good start for Australia so far.
So, yeah, even with the strikeout, it's set up for the kid who was the hero just yesterday, Brent Iredale, who in the 6th inning, down to their final 3 outs, down 2 runs, hit a 2-run homer to tie the game. Takes a strike from Valentina.
Well, this would be big for Australia to get on the board in the top of the 1st inning, knowing that you have your ace pitching for you.
Good pitch, 0-2. And another bad throw. Man, Donovan Antonio, I don't know what's going on. He's looking down at his right hand.
Yeah. Getting some dirt, but before they take the field to start the game, they water the field, so you wonder if because he's going to the dirt, there's a little moisture coming up with that dirt.
Struck him out with a high pitch, and that's a big second out for Valentina and Curacao.
You think Doncello Valentina could strike out 4?
He's got a chance to. He struck out 3 with only 2 outs. So he got an opportunity for that rare 4 strikeout inning. That's the kid who's going to try to prevent it. Matthew Clements. Right-handed hitter. 2 on, 2 out. There's that hesitation pitch. Right on the outside, 0-1. Matthew, and of course, they call him Bob. The 0-1 pitch. That went a little too far outside. Well, Australia putting some pressure. There's Andrew Clements, Matt's dad. And they call him Ken.
Makes sense.
Bill. That one is hit hard and past the reach of the third baseman, Fernandez, into left field. Base hit for Bob or Matthew. Take your choice. Harrison Wheeldon scores, and Australia has a 1-0 lead.
Tina trying to get that fastball by him. And Matthew Clemens, or as we now know him as Bob, really good swing. Got out front of it. Hard hit shot right past Nazir Fernandez, and no chance, and puts Australia on the board.
So a lead for Australia, 1-0, still going. Adrian Lautier, 13 years old. He's got some strength, some power. Swings right through that pitch, 1-1. Well, similar base hit from Matt Clements that we saw the kids from Iowa use in the bottom of the 6th to win that game. Just a couple hard hit balls on the left side. That's strike 2.
What those? There's Adrian's mother, Tracy. What those kids from Iowa, man, that lost last night, come back a day game, and
wow, look at that hesitation. That's.
Are you allowed to do that? Like, he lifted his leg, put it back down on the dirt, and lifted it again. I'm not sure you're allowed to do that.
Yeah, I've never seen anything quite like that with runners on base. Foul back in our direction.
Did he touch his foot twice? He did.
Yeah, I don't think you could do that.
I would have to think that once his foot touched the ground for the first time, you could just take off. He can't throw over, right? Well, you have to wait for it to go past home anyway, but I don't think that's legal.
That's strike 3 called right in there. So he does get the 4 strikeout inning, but he also gives up a run. Australia's jumped ahead 1-0. Dave Fleming, John Kruk back here in Williamsport. The kids from Curacao, from the capital city, Willemstad. Beautiful island country just north of Venezuela. You got the surf, you got the sand, you got the coral reefs, the snorkeling. Great food, and a lot of baseball in Curacao as well. And they have a very loud, raucous rooting section in Williamsport. The city of Willemstad, founded back in 1634, about 150,000, a hometown of Kenley Jansen, Jonathan Scope, Jurickson Profar. And those aren't the only ones, the big leaguers who come from that country. Let's meet the kids from this Little League team of Curacao.
My name is Donovan Antonia, and my favorite player is Jurickson Profar.
Hi, my name is Karima Yubi, and my favorite player is Didi Gregorius.
Hi, my name is Jason Bianchi, and my favorite player is Didi Gregorius.
Hi, my name is Jurangelo Sanchez. My favorite baseball player is Jonathan Scope.
Hi, my name is Nazir Fernandez. My favorite player is Jonathan Scope.
My name is Jadon Josefa, and my favorite player is Andrelton Simmons.
Hi, my name is Alan Minolander, and my favorite player is Didi Gregorius.
Hi, my name is Neira Maniaka. My favorite player is Kelly Johnson.
Hi, my name is Shakira Sefa. My favorite player is Andrelton Simmons.
Hi, my name is Igor Emanuela. My favorite player is Kenny Johnson.
Hi, my name is Hida Marlin. My favorite player is Jonathan Scope.
Hi there, my name is Christopher Marshall. My favorite player is Andrelton Simmons.
Hi, my name is Daniela Valentina. My favorite player is Kelly Johnson.
Hi, my name is Michael Vilches. My favorite player is Kenny Johnson.
All right, so that's the team from Curacao. They lost to that powerful South Korean team 3-0 in their opener. They beat Japan, which was the monumental win that knocked Japan out of the tournament 2-1. And here they are in an elimination game against Australia.
Yeah, and a tough road ahead of them right now. You know, of course, you lose, you're eliminated from the championship, and they have to face this guy, Clayton Campbell. Look at the size, 5'9", 169. Throws hard. This is his 3rd start, 7 innings. He's only given up that 1 run.
And I think you said it, Crucky, where he will pound the strike zone.
7 strikeouts, 0 walks, and that's pretty rare in this Little League World Series not to have walked anyone, especially since this is his 3rd start.
Jurangelo Sainche, the shortstop leadoff hitter, strike 2 swinging on the high fastball.
And you remember the game we did with Curacao and Japan. It seems like every leadoff hitter of the inning for Curacao tried to bunt. Of course, with this high velocity, that bunting could eliminate that.
Another high fastball. I think that was right where Matt Clemens wanted it. The catcher set the target up. 1-2. Well, we watched Australia with their pitcher Clayton Campbell. Because of the rain out, they had a chance to use him in game 2. He got him with the breaking ball. Clemens picks it out of the dirt, throws to first to complete the strikeout, 1 away. But they took out Clayton Campbell very early in that game with Panama, and the idea was, okay, save him for today, and here he is.
Pretty good pitch in 0-2, up and away. Gets Sanchez eyes looking up, and then he drops that breaking ball in the dirt, and he swings through it. But, you know, we were going over the lineup for Curacao, and their entire lineup only has 2 hits in this Little League World Series. So, yeah.
There's a bunt attempt. A couple of the kids on the bench have a few hits, but you're right. Curacao has made it here with pitching and defense.
Yeah, Donovan Antonio's 1 for 6. Of course, that 1 home run was that mammoth shot he hit. Sanchez has the other hit.
So the starters in the lineup for Curacao combined 2 for 31. The substitutes, the guys on the bench at the start of this game, 4 for 10. Look how close the third baseman Brent Iredale was. That was a bunt attempt, strike 2.
Yeah, you wonder if they were scouting a little bit with the Curacao game against Japan when they tried to bunt a lot against the team from Japan, because they're really charging hard.
Yeah, they weren't bluffs. Clayton Campbell's 2-strike pitch. And he got a piece of it, a foul ball to stay alive.
But Clayton Campbell looks like a polished young man as far as pitching goes. Beautiful balance, repeatable. Nothing's out of whack with this kid just yet.
Struck him out swinging with the fastball. 2 down.
And I'm sure the shadows help a little bit, but you know, this kid, you can tell why he's only given up 1 run in 7 innings.
He is a good all-around athlete. He's learned to love the game of baseball and has become a very good baseball player. He plays rugby, plays football. Big, strong kid. You would expect that. Two down, and this is power against power. Donovan Antonia with that home run we've been talking about.
Just look at the size of this young man. Wow.
Here's the 1-0. Called low by Jeb Stewart, the home plate umpire. 2-0. Well, when he hit that ball the other day, he hit it so high, I thought, well, gosh, how could you hit one that high and get it out? It was out by plenty. On the ground to first, tough hop, knocked down, but too late for Ethan Trumbull to get to the bag.
Yeah, that's you know, because the bases are so close, the infielders are so close. We see this a lot in this Little League World Series, where kids try to back up. I watch Ethan Trumbull right there. Once you start backing up, it's so hard to stay down on a ball while you're backing up. You're always raising up, and that ball hit the bottom of his glove, and it allows Antonia to get on first base on that error.
So here's Hidon Marlin taking strike 1. It is true. It's also why we appreciate the good defense we see, because one little mistake, you do that at the big league level with the 90-foot bases,
they're out.
You can still get the guy out. Here, not the case. 0-2 with the curve.
Especially the middle infielders and the third baseman in Little League. You bobble it, you're safe.
No chance. Antonia, he does like to run. Very aggressive on the base paths. Strike 3 called. It won't matter. So Clayton Campbell gets 3 strikeouts in his first inning. And through 1, the kids from Australia have a 1-0 lead.
Hey, you good, mate? Hey, Ben. All good. Sure. Hey, wait, get down on that ball, yeah?
You know, these kids are not just trading pins. They're trading memories. They're collecting mementos that with one look will take them back to this place and the time of their lives.
Huge part of the scene here in Williamsport. All the excitement of the Little League World Series, including scores, stats, highlights, and more, can be found at LLBWS.org. Or you can use the hashtag LLWS. Some Orioles pins. Cotton candy, not quite. I think the most in-demand pin this year here in Williamsport, created by our own Kyle Peterson, the ESPN, is it Cheese Whiz? Easy Cheese. I got to get it right. Easy Cheese and the corresponding cracker pin to go along with it. You got one?
No, of course you wouldn't give me one.
Wow. Sorry, I picked a scab. Ball 2 here.
You know, pitchers, they're always selfish. It's all about them. Welcome to my world today, boys. It's game on.
Riley Gonzalez chased one there, I think, in a 2-0 count.
You know how many pitchers I've heard the day before they pitch, and you know, we might score 8 or 9 runs. Hey, don't be afraid to save some for tomorrow. Shut them out.
We've opened up a whole new world here.
Yeah, you think there's some things in life I might have gotten over by now.
Yeah.
Since I haven't played since 1995, but that one just sticks with me.
3-1. Fastball for a full count, 3-2. Riley Gonzalez, he's been a good player for Australia, good defensive player. And he takes ball 4, leadoff walk.
Great job. Awesome.
Oh, see, look, not everybody's against you, Crucky.
It's my brother. Paid him a lot of money to wear that thing today just to maybe get some airtime.
Yeah, we had signs for you earlier in our first game here at Volunteer.
Perhaps I should do more international games, and it seems like that's where they show up.
It's kind of like your home over here. Yeah,
my peeps, man.
You're a man of the world.
Oh yeah. Very well traveled.
From West Virginia to all corners of the globe. Don't laugh too hard. Mitchell Tritton takes a strike. It's 1-1. Mitchell is the left fielder. You ever been to Australia?
No, I haven't. International travel's been a little difficult for me, if you really want to know.
Here's a tough getting the paperwork all lined up.
1-2.
It's a good game. 1-0. Here we go.
1-2. And a little liner caught at second, and that's going to be a double play. What a nice play by Hedon Marlin.
Lanky second baseman, Hedon Marlin. It's the thing you got to worry about when you're a runner. You know, you have to make sure that ball is going to get over the infielder's head. Once it did, it turned into an easy double play for the team from Curacao.
So 2 down. Ethan Treble takes high, and I think Riley Gonzalez, you watch that replay, I think he knew in his head, I'm supposed to freeze, I'm supposed to freeze. Yeah. And he stopped for a moment. He took a couple more steps, and there was no going back.
Yeah, but as a runner, you're like, you know, a base hit, I'm going to get to third. I want to get to third on a base hit. So that's your aggressive mind thought. And then the second thing is, but I have to freeze on a line drive.
The 1-1, 1-2. Ethan, we've seen him hit leadoff for Australia the first couple games, now batting 9th in this one. Struck him out swinging. So that's the 5th strikeout for Valentina, and midway through 2 in Williamsport. 1-0 Australia. Yes, I can tell. Back here in Williamsport, 1-0 Australia leading, bottom of the 2nd against Curacao. An elimination game on the international side. Time for our fresh take, brought to you by Subway. South Korea, 30 of the 33 outs they've recorded in this Little League World Series via the strikeout. Wow. Mexico with an impressive win against Canada to eliminate the team from British Columbia. And Iowa, that game-winning rally in the bottom of the 6th.
Yeah, Caden Din had to leave last night's game with a sore shoulder pitching. And he's actually Iowa's best catcher. He hit a home run in that game and also the game-winning base hit.
Tough guy performance. Here's a slow roller to third and a nice throw across the body from Brent Iredale, one away. More good Williamsport defense.
Yeah, I tell you what, it's special. You know, when I was playing Little League at ball like that, I'd had to catch it, set my feet, make a throw. These kids are so athletic now that at such a young age. Look at him just come in, throws off his front foot, you know, but look at him. Plant that right foot, make a strong sidearm throw, and you throw a perfect throw, a low throw so the first baseman can get a little stretch. And
now a hard ground ball knocked down, picked up the throw from Gonzalez in time. 2 pitches, 2 outs. That's the one exception
right there.
We're talking about where you don't have time to make a mistake when it's hit that hard.
Yeah, this ball was hit really hard by Nazir Fernandez. And you know, Riley Gonzalez, just all you have to do is knock it down, keep it in front of you. And you know, if you're the coaching staff for Australia, you got to think, oh, 2 pitches, 2 outs. All right.
Here's the starter, Valentina, and he swings away and pops it up. Could it be a 3-pitch inning? It will be. Ethan Treble looking up into the bright sun. And that puts a smile on everybody's face. How about that? That's a rarity. 3 pitches, 3 outs.
Hi, baby. Yeah. Yeah, he did.
Our aerial coverage brought to you by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you got to get DirecTV. Beautiful afternoon turning into evening in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. We are on the international side over here at Volunteer Stadium, and the international bracket, Mexico has staved off elimination. They beat Canada 7-1. Australia and Curacao meeting here, so the winner takes on Mexico tomorrow, 1 Eastern, right here on ESPN, in what will be another elimination game. And then at 5 o'clock tomorrow, the 2 undefeated teams on the international side, Panama and South Korea. So these teams that have already lost the game facing elimination, those 2 both 2-0 in a great spot. As we go to the 3rd, Harrison Wielden in the top of the order for Australia. A swinging strike 1. Harrison had the infield hit and scored the only run of the game. Hits that one on the ground to second. Marlin is very smooth out there, throws him out.
Both pitchers throwing strikes. Fielders are alert and ready to go. Always liked it when my guy threw strikes. It is amazing how that works out. You know, the more strikes you throw, the more prepared you are to catch a ball if they do hit it.
Here's Will Edwards taking high, ball 1. Work fast, throw strikes. Your defense plays better for you.
Yep. Well, seems to be the general rule.
1 ball, 1 strike to count to Will. One and 2. I thought Will did a great job against Panama. They took Campbell out, and that was not an easy decision. Turned it over to him. He took it the rest of the way and only gave up the 1 more run until that bottom of the 6th inning. Kept him right in the game, allowed the comeback.
I wonder how you make that decision to one run game. We're going to take our pitcher out.
Yeah, seems like they had done it ahead of time, made that decision ahead of time. That one is popped up on the infield. Valentina, the pitcher, wants it himself. 2 down.
Wow.
What do you know?
Pitcher can catch a pop-up.
He can actually do it.
We were doing a game over on the U.S. side, and the ball went up just like that. I mean, it would have landed on the pitcher's mound. And the kid pitching plays all these other positions, and the first thing he did was look around at his infielders and point one out and say, "You got it." Like, wow, they watch too much TV. Way too much TV.
You're a little eager. You can catch. Go get it. Just catch it.
Wow.
Big cut for Clayton Campbell. He's got the power to change the score with 1 swing.
Yes, he does. I mean, he's the big kid. Favorite team, the Golden State Warriors. Not a bad choice.
No. If you like a winner, it's pretty good. That one is hit on 1 quick hop to third. Fernandez throws out Campbell. D'Angelo Valentina has settled right in. So we go to the bottom of the 3rd. Curacao comes back up, trailing 1-0.
Hi, my name is Jonathan Scope. My favorite baseball player is Terry Cheetah.
Jonathan Scope, he's going to do some damage with the bat. Base hit, and Curacao strikes first. And here comes Jurickson Profar.
My name is Jurickson Profar. My favorite baseball player is Alex Rodriguez.
Runner at second is Scope. Profar's our hitter. In the air, deep center field, gone. Profar puts Curacao up by 3 runs. How about that?
That team that won the Little League World Series championship in 2004, 2 future big leaguers on it. Curaçao's only Little League World Series title. For more about Jonathan Scope and his relation to this team, let's welcome in Marisol Castro.
Oh, thanks so much, Dave. As you can imagine, he is a real hero for a lot of these players, and it turns out Coach Leroy Antonia actually knows Jonathan Scope pretty well. They came up through baseball, although Coach Antonia is a bit older, and so they've been connecting via text, and he's been imparting words of wisdom, and he said, hey, listen, we'd love to bring you guys up to Yankee Stadium this weekend if you don't make it to the championship. Catch at a game between the Yankees and the Orioles. Coach said, listen, we'd rather stay here and play for the championship, but going to see the Yankees and Didi and you up in the Bronx, that's a good consolation prize. So really, really supportive there, and these kids are really excited either way.
Well, that would be a cool experience. Jaden Josepa is the hitter here. And he hits that one pretty well to center field. Will Edwards on the move. 1 away. And you heard Marisol mention Didi. Of course, that's Didi Gregorius, Yankees shortstop. He's from Curaçao. Scope and Profar on that one Little League World Series championship team. Kenley Jansen, Andrelton Simmons, who might be the best defensive player in the big leagues right now, certainly one of them. Andrew Jones, who could be a Hall of Famer with his center field career.
I think the one common denominator is all of those guys have unbelievable arms.
Yep. You're right about that.
You know, you talked to Buck Showalter about Jonathan Scope, who he absolutely loves. He said there's no one playing the game of baseball right now with a stronger arm as far as second basemen go in all of baseball. And you watch him turn double plays with Machado and J.J. Hardy and Scope. I mean, it's a thing of beauty.
Foul ball on the bunt attempt for Jaslyn Bianchi.
Yeah, Brent Iredale, the third baseman, once he turns around the bunt, I mean, that first pitch, he was almost in the dirt in the infield waiting for that bunt.
Yeah, you better hope, Brent, he doesn't pull the bat back and swing away.
I think he's going with the, Clayton Campbell throws so hard he's not going to be able to pull it type of deal.
Could be. No show of a bunt there. It's ball 2. Well, one thing we know, this is not going to be a 3-pitch inning. He had a 3-pitch inning in the second, Campbell did.
The coaches were pretty excited about that when they went back over to the dugout.
Yes, they were. That one is hit.
Yeah, that's the one you charge. Charge and they swing like that. Oh, I hated that.
Your whole life flashes before your eyes.
Yeah, I think the worst part was playing on the wet turf in Philly, having to play the infield in, and someone like Darryl Strawberry was up, or Will Clark.
Struck him out swinging with a breaking ball in the dirt, and then that flip throw from Clements to first for the putout. So 2 down. And by the way, when we're all done here with Little League action tonight, 10 Eastern, it's kind of a special presentation of Big League Baseball. Yankees Mariners from Seattle. We haven't been there in a while. It's Cano against his old team. And Ken Griffey Jr. is going to be in the booth for the whole game with Boog, with Sut, with Doug. So that'll be a treat. The kid, the Hall of Famer. Here's a bunt. Sainche will make it safely. A bunt hit, the first hit of the game.
It's all right.
Sainche, he looked like he wanted to bunt. He pulled it back. It froze the infielders, and then he dropped down a blueprint bunt to get on first base here with 2 outs.
So he's got speed. Maybe not a bad idea. Get your first hit. Get a base runner. See if you can't make something happen here. Yankee Josepa will hit. Wearing number 3. Big Eric Hosmer fan. He shows a bunt, and that one goes off the mitt of Clements to the backstop. So that will move the runner into scoring position. They'll call that a wild pitch. I'm sure Matt thinks he should have kept that one around home plate, but now first runner in scoring position for Curacao.
Yeah, and a base hit right here. We got us a tie game. Shallow, the left fielder, Mitchell.
Tritton is playing.
And he's running in too.
He went around apparently. Now you would not think a bunt would be a play now that you got a runner in scoring position.
Yeah, I think the third base coach came down and was saying something like you know, it's 2 outs. We're probably not going to get 2. You know, getting 3 hits in a row off this kid's going to be tough enough.
Big curve drops in. It's 1-2.
A base hit to left field. If Tritton fields it cleanly, there's no way Saenche can score from second base.
He's playing that shallow, even with Saenche's speed. Here's Clayton Campbell's 1-2. Struck him out swinging with the fastball. So the first hit for Curacao, but no runs. We go to the 4th. Australia with a 1-0 lead. Crookie, what do you think? Tennessee, California, that follows us tonight, 7:30 right here on ESPN. Is their baseball better than their dancing? Can Tennessee take down Chula Vista?
I don't think there's a team here that has ever played that poorly to compare to that dancing. By the coach. The kid was great.
Yeah.
But let me tell you this. He's done a lot more dancing than anyone will ever see me do.
That's not you?
What? Dance? No.
So sliding on the hill's out. Dancing is out. Yeah. What's in?
Ice cream.
The 1-0 pitch on the ground, foul by third. Yeah, when we had Team Italy, you were all in on the Italian culture, the pasta, the pizza.
Yeah. I'm sure whatever they have in local foods for Curacao and Australia, I'd probably enjoy that too.
Some Vegemite.
No idea what that is.
That's a foul ball.
Is that what it is? A foul ball?
It's a Vegemite.
Wow.
Vegemite is foul. Would maybe not be the worst word you'd pick to describe it.
I actually have friends back in Naples that are from Australia.
You have to ask him. Well, Brent Iredale was head back to the dugout. He thought that was strike 3.
Yeah, that was. I think he feels pretty good about that call.
I might be swinging here if I were Brent. Well, not at that one.
Would have been a tough one to hit.
3-2. And Cello Valentina, starting pitcher for Curacao. 2 of their best pitchers, Saenche and Josepa, are not available for this game. That's ball 4. So Iredale draws another leadoff walk. That's the second one issued. It's the 3rd time in 4 innings Australia's had the lead runner on.
Capitalized once on it.
Well, and I tell you what, their pitcher Clayton Campbell has thrown 30 pitches through 3 innings. So he's got the pitch count to go the distance in this game. If you get another run on the board, take a 2-run lead, that's going to be tough on Curacao. There's Clayton. Here's Rowan North, who is a good defensive catcher. We were impressed by him the other day. Now getting a chance to hit. And he takes a strike. He's the kid we took on the culinary tour. He told Tim Kirchman on Baseball Tonight he'd never heard of kettle corn. He didn't know what it was. So he took him around the ballpark and let him try kettle corn and the fried dough, the fried Oreos. He was in.
Is he moving?
In.
Might be moving over here.
He might have found a new favorite place. That's very high. Good save by Antonia.
You just think if where they come from in Australia, if they don't have kettle corn, perhaps he can get the recipe and maybe start a little business.
I could see that. He seems like a go-getter type. Hits that one foul.
Get the young man from Kentucky to do some stock portfolio stuff for him.
Yeah, maybe manage the business plan. You could be all in. You and I will be silent investors.
Yeah, well, without question. If he can invest like he does, I'm in.
2-2. That little hesitation, and he misses. Well, unlike Clayton Campbell, Valentina, that's pitch number 60 with no outs here in the fourth. But he has not been as efficient, even though he's only given up the 2 hits and the 1 run. 3-2. Struck him out swinging. 6th strikeout.
He tried 2 curveballs once he got 2 strikes and worked the count to 3-2, and then he said, you know what? Curveball ain't breaking like it should. It ain't going in the strike zone. I got to try to fire one up in the zone here.
Well, that's kind of what we're talking about, the efficiency with those pitch limit rules here in Little League. Will Unit's going to hit now. Will takes a strike. Valentina. That one is slap foul. 0-2.
I think, Dave, that's why, you know, defense is such a premium. You know, you make errors, the pitch counts go up for the pitchers. And I think that's what's so amazing about these kids is, yes, there's going to be errors made, but they make some of the most unbelievable plays you'll see for 12 and 13-year-old kids.
Yep. And you're right about that. The pinch count rules, they put so much of an emphasis on getting outs quickly and not wasting a chance to get an out. That defense is critical. 0-2. Struck him out with a high fastball. 2 down.
Dancello Valentina just said, you know what, I'm just going with the heat. I ain't gonna fool around no more. I got 65 pitches through 3 innings, or 2 2/3 innings. Might as well air it out now.
Here's Riley Gonzalez taking strike 1. Teammates call him Z. Well, Valentina's figured out a way here after that leadoff walk to pitch in the strike zone. Gotten ahead of all 3 of these hitters. That hesitation, that breaking ball stays high.
That throws him off a little bit.
You do wonder.
I mean, he's commanded him once or twice, but most of the time it's who knows.
Well, he tried it there and it worked there.
Worked there.
He ends up striking out the side after the leadoff walk. So bottom of the 4th, a 1-run game. Welcome back. Time for our Honda game summary. It is 1-0 Australia. Only 1 hit for Curacao against Clayton Campbell. And he has been, Crucky, brutally efficient. 3 innings, 30 pitches thrown.
Yeah, he's been really efficient. And, you know, that 1 inning, the second inning or third inning or second inning, he had a 3-pitch inning.
Whatever.
That always helps.
Kangaroo likes it. Curacao wants that kangaroo back on the other side. So a quick visit, catcher and pitcher here. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Australia has never won 2 games in any single Little League World Series. So this would be a big-time landmark win for their Little League program. The loser is eliminated. So this is an elimination game on the international side. And the big kid, Donovan Antonio, it was in this spot against Japan. Same score where he hit a home run to tie the game. In the bottom of the 4th inning.
And you see how Clayton Campbell's starting him out with the breaking ball. The one thing you see with
Fastball ripped, foul. Wow. Well, that one was hit hard. How about this one?
I mean, when you hit a ball and you look straight up, more than likely an infielder's catch. That one just kept traveling and traveling over the light standard here in left center field.
Amazing power. Now behind in the count 0-2. He reached on an error his first time up, and now he asked for time. Tell you what, he hit that ball so hard. Ethan Treble, the first baseman, I don't think he knew the ball was by him, and he was kind of looking around like, what just happened?
Yeah, that's and this is to me, this is the guy you got to be careful with. Where if you're Clayton Campbell.
0-2. Not a bad idea. Just bounce one and see if he'll swing.
Yeah, you see so many of these kids with the arm sleeves, the wrist guards, the elbow guards. Maybe they don't have his size, but he just goes without it and let's play ball.
Just give me a bat. He fouls that one right around home. I mean, he's got bat speed.
He does have bat speed without question. That's a great pitch right there, though, by Clayton Campbell. Try to run a fastball in. Now you might have him set up to go breaking ball away.
Got a couple different signals there. He went breaking ball and caught him looking. One down. Not quite to the target, but it worked out okay.
Yeah, well, sometimes that's a tough one to hit. You know, I mean, you look where this pitch started. You see where Clemens is setting up away, but he throws it right at his hip or his left thigh of the hitter. And it breaks out over the inside part of the plate. And that's an easy pitch to give up on if you're a hitter.
And well framed by Matthew Clements, the catcher, to help get that call. So that's a big out for Australia. Strike one swinging. Hit on Marlin. He can go deep. He's got bat speed and some power. A one-run game here in the bottom of the fourth. One ball, one strike to count from Campbell. This is the third game for Australia. This is Clayton Campbell's third start. Part of that is the rainouts on Sunday helped them, and they took advantage of it. Pretty good looking breaking ball, but called a ball.
Yeah, it's on the other side too. Rhode Island, tough loss in the game this afternoon to be eliminated, but Colin Lemieux for them has started all three of their games too.
What a smash into right center field. That's a hit, and it should be extra bases. Scooped up by Edwards, but a double with one out for Marlin.
When you have a guy throwing hard like Clayton Campbell, you hit one off the barrel, it's going to get through. Once it gets past the infield, it's going to be tough for the outfielders to catch up to it. And, great play by William Edwards to get to that wall, the ball off the wall quickly, get it back in. But Marlin too good a speed.
So that's the tying run in scoring position. Here's Salamin Hollander. He asked for time before the first pitch. And Australia is getting some instructions from their dugout about where to position themselves defensively. Alan Amin showing bunt. Now he pulls the bat back. And I don't know, that's tough for a little leaguer against a guy throwing this hard.
Yeah, you see it a lot in softball, where even power hitters in softball will bunt, pull the bat back. It's more of a timing mechanism. And I think they're just trying to get the corner infielders to move around a little bit.
So far they haven't really moved. Curveball, strike two.
You can't trick the Australians. They're not going to fall for that.
Well, this is, we've been watching them in the Little League World Series for 4 years now. This is their most talented all-around roster that they've sent. In the dirt, and a good block, but the throw is a little late. Nothing that Matthew Clements could do about that, and that's huge.
That's huge, but it's also going to be an interesting. Well, Matthew Clements is hurt.
Hopefully Matthew's all right. I didn't see what happened. He's looking at, he's holding the back of his head.
He hurt his head trying to get the mask off?
Must have been, right? Well,
got him in the throat, it looked like. Yeah, got underneath.
So
that's what it was. He threw his helmet off and it came back and hit him in the head.
Man, so he got hit in the throat and then the helmet hit him in the back of the head. And his wrist is a little shaken up too. He did. He stayed with the play. He made a good throw.
Yeah.
I think Matthew's a tough kid.
I mean, there's the ball. It hits off the wrist, hits off the throat, and then the helmet, when he's trying to flip it off, hit him in the back of the head.
So the wild pitch has put the tying run at third.
I was going to say before Matthew Clements got hurt. Now, interesting.
I'll just hold that thought for one moment. We want to remind everybody Little League University provides web-based training for coaches, umpires, league volunteers, and parents. You can watch videos, review practice plans, or just see some ideas for play and catch in the backyard. Visit and join for free at littleleagueuniversity.org.
See the team from Australia. They're the corner. Third base is coming in. Brent Iredale. The rest of the guys are back, so any ground ball looks like going to score a run.
That's strike 3 called, and that is huge. And Alan Amin Allender knows that that was a spot to try to put the ball in play. 2 down.
Well, that's the luxury you have as a strikeout pitcher. Even though there's a runner on third, and you think any contact except back to him or the third base is going to score a run. But when you can get the strikeouts like Clayton Campbell's doing, it makes your job a little easier.
That one fouled up off the rooftop. Strike 1 to Nazir Fernandez in a huge spot in this game. 2 down, bottom of the 4th, tying run at third. A base hit ties it up. Campbell's 0-1. Curve, and it buckled the knees, but a little bit high. Wow.
Like a pretty good pitch. But now back to work.
There's Marlin 60 feet away from tying this game. 1-1. Another curve, this time called a strike. 1-2.
Alan Amin Hollander, he didn't pick up the breaking ball very well. Now look at Nazir Fernandez. Man, that's the fear that's the issue when someone's throwing hard like Campbell is. You're going to give up on that breaking ball.
Is 1-2. Struck him out with the curveball. Runner at third, tying run at third, and back-to-back strikeouts. Clayton Campbell in Australia keep this a 1-0 game.
Good job, kid. Baby.
Welcome back to the Little League World Series presented by Kellogg's Frosted Flakes from Williamsport, Pennsylvania. Beautiful night, and the nightcap here will be on the U.S. side another elimination game from the Southeast region. Tennessee against Chula Vista, California from out west, 7:30 Eastern, right here on ESPN. And California lost to that Iowa team in their opener. And so we'll see if they can keep their title hopes alive. They certainly came in on paper as one of the favorites.
Yeah, without question. And I think they got a little surprised by the team from Iowa out of the gate. But they got back on the winning track, and their hopes of winning the Little League World Series are still alive.
Got to win tonight. Thomas Jackson, pinch hitter, took a pretty good rip there at a low pitch from Valentina. 1 ball, 1 strike to count. 1-0 lead. We're in the 5th inning. Pitch count starting to become an issue for Valentina. 71 pitches thrown. That's ball 2. Two and 2.
That's something too I've noticed more this year, Dave, than any other year I've been here, is the behind in the count breaking balls.
Struck him out on a high pitch. 1 away. Yeah, I'm with you. We have seen a lot of that. Pitch counts, and this is the issue in terms of eligibility. Max per game 85, although you can go over that if you start the at bat and extend. You don't have to come out in the middle of an at bat. But those are the thresholds, so he's going to need Valentina will 4 days rest no matter what happens from here on out. And that's where some of the strategy comes in, including what Australia did in their last game to keep Clayton Campbell eligible for this one. Here's Stephen Courtney, right-handed hitter, pinch hitting. In the number 9 spot on the order. Stephen's a kid, Crucky, whose mom went to the University of Texas, so grew up here and then moved to Australia. Met Stephen's dad in Australia. So he's a kind of a Texas Australian. He likes the Rangers. Adrian Beltre follows those teams.
It would be interesting, a combination of the two accents.
That would be interesting. That would be. 2-1. Now it's 2-2.
Good day, y'all.
I think you're on to something. Good day, y'all.
2-2.
The pitch hit foul. So Stephen Courtney stays alive.
Point.
See that catcher Antonia set the target away. Pitch came back over the plate and it's hit well to right field and gone. However you say it, with the Australian accent or the Texan, Stephen Courtney's got a Little League World Series home run. And it's 2-0 Australia.
There you go.
That is amazing. A high fastball right here by Valentina and Stephen Courtney. Look at that ball go.
Just enough.
And you know what's great? Like, he didn't even break stride. Like most kids will break into a trot and throw their fist up in the air. He just kept running.
And who was first to greet him? Clayton Campbell. So we're going to have a pitching change for Curacao. That feels like a huge run in this game. We're in the 5th. 2-0 Australia. Be back right after this.
4 years.
We're back in Williamsport, where Australia and Curacao are battling on the international side in an elimination game. And Stephen Courtney with a home run to right center field to make it a 2-0 lead for Australia. For more on Stephen, here's Marisol.
That's right, Dave. You guys mentioned his mom is actually from Texas, and they spent a little time in Texas before coming to Williamsport with their younger son. And despite the fact that their neighbors are rooting for an actual team here in Williamsport that's from Texas, well, the Courtney family, they are firmly rooting for Team Australia, despite what other neighbors think about them. They are firmly rooting for this team, and I have to tell you, the fans here are so excited. They were nervous today, but I think these 2 runs are really making things a little bit nicer tonight.
Well, I hope they're pulling for their own kid.
I think the relatives that live in Texas.
Look, I know those Texas ties are strong. Marlin, the new pitcher for Curacao, by the way.
If you're the hitter, you might not want to blink with Marlin on the mound.
Strike 3 with the curve. So 2 down. And there's Hidon to Marlin, 12 years old, hit a double as a hitter, has made a couple good defensive plays in this game. Now he pitches, and it's not the first time he's been on the mound.
Got to save. Against Japan.
Yeah.
Works quick, short armor. It's got to be tough to pick the ball up.
Check swing. Did Will Edwards hold up? No, that's a swing. Well, we mentioned it before the break, Crucky, where with Clayton Campbell on the mound, 47 pitches through 4 shutout innings, 1-0 lead, okay. But that extra run, I mean, that feels so big for Australia.
Yeah, it really does. You know, we've seen the team from Curacao they're struggling to get guys on base, much less bring one in. So this really, 2-0 right now. If you're Curacao, I probably think it's more like a 4-0 game. Like tough, it's going to be tough to string hits together against Clayton Campbell.
Maybe that's why Clayton was the first one to greet Stephen Courtney as he crossed home plate.
Yeah, well, we've seen it though. He hasn't made many mistakes. I mean, he made a mistake to Marlin, and he hit that double.
Yep.
To right center field, but other than that, there hadn't been many hard hit balls off of him.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. So Marlin does a good job coming in, but an extra run for Australia. We go to the bottom of the 5th, 2-0 they lead. 2-0 Australia, bottom of the 5th, and Clayton Campbell, their pitcher, Crucky, has been really, really good.
Yeah, unbelievable so far in this game, giving up only the 2 hits. But the breaking ball was there from the start. The location with the fastball was there from the start. And you understand now why Curacao has yet to put a run on the board. This kid has just been absolutely phenomenal. Great mechanics, repeatable mechanics, and he will throw his breaking ball behind an account. I mean, this kid has been as good as advertised coming into this game, and you understand why now, why Australia started him all 3 games.
And he's still got that streak going where he has not issued a walk. He's pitched in all 3 games in Williamsport.
15 strikeouts, no walks.
Agri Manuela will hit for Curacao to try to get a rally started, down 2-0 now after the home run, and that's a strike. Ego at the plate. He had a big hit in their rally against Japan. Curveball, he offered at it, strike 2. And I think the other thing that you said there, watching those highlights, there's been some nuance. It's not just he's big and strong and throws hard.
Yeah, he's a pitcher, and with a guy with an overpowering fastball who can also pitch. I mean, he has rarely missed his spot in this game. Wherever Matthew Clemens has put the glove, it's on that side of the plate.
Let's see if he hits it here, right to the target, but he didn't get the call.
Breaking ball he was trying to bring on the outside, break it across the outside part of the plate.
I think young Clayton's thinking,
And the thing is, he could throw that pitch, not get the call, and now it's, I think I can still throw my fastball by him because I've thrown him a couple breaking balls within this at bat.
That target kind of in the same spot. 2-2. The second time he thought maybe he had him. I think that one was a little farther from the plate.
Yeah, Matthew Clemens, and we've seen this a lot. They'll move 6-12 inches outside, hope to get the call.
Keeps that target a little closer. And a rare misfire from Campbell. Now the count is full 3-2, and the catcher wants to chat.
And I think this is a situation with Manuela hitting, not a power hitter. You got a 2-run lead. You don't want to walk anyone. If he reaches by a base hit, let him reach. But throw the fastball, try to hit your spot with it. And if he gets a base hit, tip your hat.
3-10.
Last thing you want to do is walk.
Maybe Riley Gonzalez came in and said something to take the edge off. He saw that smile before a big pitch, and he got him with the fastball. Strikeout number 9. This is an elimination game, so whoever loses is done here in Williamsport. The winner advances to play Mexico tomorrow on the international side at 1 Eastern right here on ESPN. For Australia, a country that doesn't have a lot of history in Williamsport. They've never won 2 games in any one Little League World Series. This would be a first.
Yeah, they've gotten here before, but this is, like you've been saying it all along, Dave, that this is by far the most complete team that they've brought over here to Williamsport. And this young man on the mound doesn't hurt your chances either.
No. Christopher Marshall swings through a high fastball as a pinch hitter. So Marshall will bat for the first time. Mandatory play rules. Everybody's got a hit on both sides. A show of a bunt, and he pushes it foul. Now it's 0-2. And Now you got problems against Campbell.
Yeah, it's so many ways he can go here. Fastball up out of the strike zone to see if he'll chase. He's done that before. 0-2, he'll elevate the fastball, and then if you don't get the swing, he'll come back with a breaking ball down. Looks like they want the fastball up.
Way up. According to that target, perfectly thrown right to the target, 2 down. Strikeout number 10.
So impressive. So impressive. Mechanics, the whole deal. I mean,
it's really true. I mean, he's not just a bruiser on the mound overpowering everybody.
The thing is, he still has really good velocity, but his location.
There just haven't been many pitches where he's not throwing right to the target. So 2 down. Here's Michael Vilches, another right-handed hitter. And he went around, according to the home plate umpire. And the pitch count, I mean, no problem. 57 pitches thrown. (15 of 18 first pitch strikes now in this game. So he's been ahead of just about everybody, and he's often been ahead 0-2.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, it's machine-like. It's 0-1, 0-2.
0-2.
Well, there you go. Thank you, Mr. Umpire. Now, how's he go here? Does he go fastball up? Yep.
See if he can hit the glove again. Not this time.
That one.
Yeah, maybe trying to get a little extra, you think?
Might want to get someone up in the pen. Through one bat.
Kid, what's wrong? It's the 8th hitter of the game who's been in an 0-2 count against Campbell. Now it's 1-2 to Vilches. Struck him out swinging. 11 strikeouts for Clayton Campbell, and he struck out the side.
Yeah, an impressive job by Clayton Campbell. Strikeouts with the curveball, strikeouts with the fastball up, another fastball up. Let me get 1-2 and throw another fastball up and swing through him. Australia leading.
Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! Go Australia!
Welcome back to the Little League World Series presented by Kellogg's Frosted Flakes. I think that chant alone gets Australia some extra fans here.
I love it. I've heard it in some golf, you know, in the Ryder Cup type deals. It's pretty interesting.
Well, Clayton Campbell, he has been the star on the mound. First pitch swinging, pulls one foul.
Might as well add to his greatness here at Williamsport.
Well, he is 0 for 2 as a hitter. You know that probably bugs him because he's a good hitter. Facing Marlin, second pitcher of the game for Curacao. Australia here in the 6th would love to add on. Way outside with the curve. So it's Campbell, and then Iredale is due up. And we'll see after that. Maybe Matthew Clements again. 2-1. He looks like a hitter.
Looks like a gifted athlete. You watch him bounce off the mound.
Hits that curveball way up there. Shallow left. Sayinche couldn't catch it. Popped out of his glove. And there's nobody at second, so Campbell slides in safely. Well, Jurangelo Sayinche, who is an excellent athlete himself, I think he did just about everything right, and then he just couldn't hang on.
Yeah, he did everything right, but I think if you watch the left fielder coming in, Josepa, it looks like Josepa was calling for it, and you don't know if that distracted Sayinche just a little bit, and maybe he took his eye off the ball for just a second, but you know, Josepa was just, you know, the whole way coming in. I got it, I got it. And now, great base running too, though, by Clayton Campbell. He saw second base was unoccupied. I don't know where the second baseman was going on that play, but there was no one covering second.
Well, yeah. Tagging, freezing on the line drive. All right. Infield's playing in, see it through, yeah?
Just some quick instructions. So a wild pitch after what they scored as a double. It's 1-1 to Brent Iredale, who had the dramatic home run yesterday to tie the game in the 6th inning. Foul tip. Now it's 1-2.
Pretty good hack right there by Brent Iredale. And this is one of those situations now, 2 strikes. You know, the last thing you want to do is not put the ball in play. If you put the ball in play, you take your chances. You know, infield's in. If you hit it hard, there's a good chance it's going to go through.
Ducked underneath that one. 2-2. Brent's home run went right down the right field line. He's got a little opposite field power. Did he hold up? No swing. Sante Del Vecchio, our first base umpire.
3-2.
Full count now. Good fastball from Marlin.
3-2.
I wonder if Marlins might be a little bit fearful of that breaking ball.
That one is fouled off again.
Good velocity though on the old number 1.
He does, and you described it. He's got that short arm action. It'd be tough to time up. Strikeout on the high fastball, 1 away. So that took 8 pitches, but finally Marlin gets him.
Yeah, great pitch in on the knuckles of Brent Iredale. You look how he has a fast windup, short arms it, hides the ball well.
Yeah, you got to be ready to swing. Here's Matthew Clements. Ball 1. It's another chance where you put a ball in play hard with that infield in. Maybe not all the way in, but in. Great chance to score a run. He can have all the nachos he wants if he knocks in a run here. 1-1. Marlin would love nothing more than another strikeout. Foul ball, 1-2. He's set up to get it.
Great job so far. But you know, and this is the thing where as you get a little older, you'll understand. I think he's afraid to throw his breaking ball here. I think he's afraid to bounce it, and it's just been all fastballs. Both the Iredale and now and there's that. Well, there you go.
He threw one.
Well, I'm struck out too if I'm hitting.
Yeah, I mean, you're thinking, well, he doesn't want to throw it. He's going to throw another fastball. He just spins one right in there.
Perfect.
So 2 down, and that changes things. Takes a little pressure off the defense.
Gives him a little more range.
Now Adrian Loctier will come up. Adrian took a called strike 3 in the first inning. We'll see if he's a little more aggressive. He was against the breaking ball.
Yeah, first at bat against Valentina, he was behind the fastball and had a really good swing on the breaking ball. You would think that Marlin right here would try to attack him with the fastball.
So it's 1-1. Huge run at third if Australia could get it. Now it's 1-2. And I think you're right.
Yeah, good pitch. I mean, look at too. He's had a little run on that fastball because of the short arm.
Is 1-2. Struck him out. Great job, Hedon Marlin. So that gives Curacao a better chance in the bottom of the 6th. They need 2 to keep going. We'll be back right after this.
Little League World Series is presented by Kellogg's Frosted Flakes cereal. They're great.
Aerial coverage from Williamsport brought to you by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you got to get DirecTV. Gorgeous night in Williamsport. Elimination game. We're on the international side in this one as we go to the bottom of the 6th. Australia, Curacao. The winning team advances to play Mexico tomorrow, Wednesday, 1 Eastern, right here on ESPN. The loser is eliminated from the Little League World Series. So the last 3 outs for Curacao. Australia 3 outs away from what would be An historic win for them. They've never won 2 games in any one Little League World Series, and they're sort of standing on the shoulders of number 16. Clayton Campbell has been tremendous.
Broad shoulders to stand on, too. A good-sized young man, and it has just been an absolute pitching clinic that he has put on here. Location, velocity, good break on the breaking ball. Only a couple mistakes that he's made in only 60 pitches into the 6th inning, which is rare.
A little bit high to Jurangelo Sayinche. Jurangelo has one of the 2 hits for Curacao, a bunt single. We'll see if he can get on base and try to spark a rally. High fastball, strike 1. He got the power due up third, Donovan Antonia. So if anybody's on for Donovan, he could represent the tying run. I think that would be the goal for Curacao. At least give him a shot. Campbell's 1-1. On the ground, foul. And a breaking ball. It's 1-2.
And one thing you're going to have to understand if you're Curacao, Clayton Campbell hasn't walked anyone yet in this World Series. So if you're gonna beat him, you're gonna have to earn it. He ain't gonna give it to you.
He's pitched most of 2 full games plus part of another one, and he's not walked anybody. He got the strikeout on a high fastball, 1 away. And one of his best fastballs of the game, his 12th strikeout. When we're done here, baseball tonight, the guys are getting ready. Adnan, Booney, Tim Kirkchin, lined up, yeah.
3 Stooges.
Nice. Crucky said it, not me, guys.
Oh, they know.
2-0 with 1 out. And Josefa at the plate. He goes to bunt. Bunted it foul. I think he's got that same idea. We know who's on deck. Donovan Antonia.
Not only Donovan Antonio, but Marlin hit that double into right center. They're only the second of their 2 hits in this game.
Yep, you're right.
But that's it. You got to earn it.
You got to earn it. He's not going to put you on base. The 0-1. A little breaking ball. Foul. Got a piece of the umpire. Now it's 0-2. Another 2-strike count.
Seems to be living there, doesn't he? Well, you talk about the mantra for any pitcher: get ahead, work quick, get ahead.
Throw strikes,
especially in the last inning of this game.
Trying to be his own closer. Is 0-2 to Josefa. Got a piece of it.
That's the same pitch he struck out Sayinche with, that fastball away after getting 2 strikes. Josefa just barely getting a piece of it.
Curacao down to their final 2 outs. Kind of a defensive half swing, but he did a good job. He got the bat on the ball.
Yeah, with velocity, you got to get it started early, and once you get fooled by that breaking ball, Josefa's lucky that that ball stayed foul.
Yeah. Lives to see at least 1 more pitch. Look at that target from Matthew Clements. 0-2. And another foul. Well, Josefa, he's giving him a workout here.
He is, and you know, this is a situation where if you're Clayton Campbell, you might be able to climb the ladder a little bit more, because Josefa seems like he's in swing mode.
Oh-2. On the ground, in the hole, it's short, a jump throw, and it'll be too late. So there you go. What an at-bat by Josefa. And that will allow the tying run to come to home plate. Good effort by Harrison Wheeldon.
Yeah, great effort. Great athleticism. Jump throw out of Derek Jeter, but Josefa just way too fast. And again, this is a missed location. One of the few times that Clayton Campbell has. Clements wanted it away, got it over the center of the plate. A little inside-out swing by Josefa. And now the power's coming up for Curacao. You couldn't ask for anything more right here.
Take your shot with a guy who's got big-time power. First pitch. He grounds it foul. He kind of left that curveball out over the plate. Antonio was a little quick.
His 2 previous at bats, he started him off with breaking balls. And I think Antonio was maybe looking for it, but it's still hard to sit there and say, I'm going to look for a breaking ball in case he throws you a fastball. But this is big here.
I know he's only 1 for 8 in the Little League World Series, but get the barrel on the ball, it can go a long way. Strike 2 with the curve. And maybe he'll just stick with that thing.
Yeah, if he goes like it's been going, he might try to throw a fastball up out of the zone. But then you risk this strong young man at home plate. If he gets a little bit of the plate, he can check swing one over the fence in right field. So this is a big pitch right here for Campbell.
Tying run at the plate, maybe the strongest kid in Williamsport with a bat in his hand. 0-2. That target away. And it goes off the mid of the catcher to the backstop. Josefa's got to be real careful. You can't get too aggressive. You want to be aggressive out there, but you're down 2.
Yeah, and this is, if you're Australia, you just worry about outs now. You don't even worry about Josefa. His run really means nothing right now. He can score, doesn't matter. You just have to keep the other guys behind him from getting on base and scoring.
Here's the 1-2 from Campbell. Antonio, a hard smash to third, but picked clean. Iredale throws him out. Now the runner breaking for third, and he's in there safely with the slide. You better make it. So 2 down.
Well, this is a bullet, but the lucky thing for Australia and for Brent Iredale was the ball was 1 hop to him, so it didn't take that second bounce in the dirt. But again, you know, Josefa, you said it, very aggressive on the base pass. Put it this way, he's very happy that he made it to third, because his third base coach, I think, would have been a little bit upset.
So down to their final out. Australia 1 out away, and Marlin, who doubled his last time up, takes ball 1. And maybe Clayton Campbell a little fatigue here, starting to miss his spot. I mean, and we're nitpicking, but Clayton has been almost perfect in this game, hitting his targets. A very rare 1-ball count. And Marlin, he's got the power to tie the game with 1 swing.
Well, he was, you know, he's young, but I mean, Campbell was on the bases, had a hustle double.
Yeah. Good fastball. Pitch number 75.
Really good fastball.
That was a 70-mile-an-hour pitch, and that was number 76 for Campbell. Curve. Curacao down to their final strike.
What, he regrew pretty quick there, Dave. You said it. You know, the first pitch was out of the ordinary for him to throw a ball 1. Came back with a fastball and then a breaking ball. Marlin right now got to be wondering what's next.
Is that Clayton's mom? Looking for 1 more strike. Here's his 1-2. He got it with the curveball. Now the throw to first, and it pulled the first baseman off the bag. The run is in to score. And the tying run is on base for Curacao. They still have life. Matthew Clemens, it was almost like he tried to throw it over top the runner.
Yeah, he never cleared himself. Watch the pitch here. Strikeout, he missed the ball, and he actually stands right in the baseline and had to throw it over Marlin's head, and he kind of casted it. You know, you take 2 steps to your right, you throw it to the outside, and everything's good to go. But the fundamentals right now.
Wow, Hollander swings and misses. So now it's a 1-run game. And a base hit, or at least an extra base hit, could tie it. Plus that pitch count, that's number 79 from Campbell. If Curacao could somehow keep this game going, down 2-1 at the bottom of the 6th, and a swinging strike 2.
I don't know if Clayton Campbell's going to think about that a bouncing breaking ball right now. Just overpowered Hollander with the first two pitches of this at bat.
The 2-strike pitch. Wow, just missed. Marlin takes off. No throw from Clements. And now really a base hit away from tying the game.
Yeah, base hit, an error.
Yep.
And the way Marlin's running the base is a wild pitch. It bounces around back there. You never know. I don't think Campbell's going to mess around, though, with the breaking ball.
I think another fastball's coming. 1-2. Struck him out swinging. What a performance by Clayton Campbell, and what a win for Australia. They had never done it before. They've got 2 wins in Williamsport.
Good job, boys. Steve-O! Steve-O!
And you hear him chanting Steve-O. That home run turns out, Crucky, to be the difference in the game.
Pinch hit home run for
You keep that gamble? Thanks, umpire.
Stephen Courtney.
Any chance we can get that gamble?
Thanks, guys.
Campbell
Great game.
did the rest. But
Thank you.
wow, what a
Thank
game. Great pitching on both sides. Base running was extraordinary. And the final out recorded by Clayton Campbell against Alan Amin Hollander. The big breaking ball after throwing 2 fastballs by him.
Strikeout number 14 for Clayton Campbell. And good sportsmanship on both sides. You know, those kids from Curacao are disappointed. They played tough baseball, had 3 nail biters in Williamsport, 3 really tough close games, and a lot to be proud of. But for Australia, the most success they've ever had in the Little League World Series, and their championship hopes are still alive.
Gonna have to figure out a way to win without Clayton Campbell on the mound next game.
I'll worry about that tomorrow, and they will have to play tomorrow against a good team from Mexico, 1 Eastern. Here on ESPN, sort of the upstart kids from Australia trying to take down a traditional power.
Yeah, Mexico, it looks like they're starting to put their offense together the last couple games. And even though Australia won this game, their offense still hasn't gotten clicking, but I think it's going to be a good game.
Oh, he had a little bit of everything. The defense, the home run hitting, and then that kid, Clayton Campbell, with a dominant performance. Australia stays alive. For John Kruk, for Marisol Castro, I'm Dave Fleming, saying so long here from Williamsport, Pennsylvania. Back in Sydney, I think they're celebrating in the middle of the night. Now, time for Baseball Tonight with Adnan Vert.
All right, Flem, thank you very much. That is the scene here in South Williamsport, Pennsylvania. We are taking you all the way to 7:30 Eastern here on ESPN as we'll continue terrific action of Little League Baseball as we continue. Australia pulls off the victory late in this one, and more great action coming up as Baseball Tonight will carry you through, not only with the Little League World Series highlights, but also updates from the major leagues. All that more coming up on Baseball Tonight.